All right, my job is done here. Yeah, let's go. Optimal sector 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
That was great, man.
That's it. That's how you drive a high downforce car. Good job, man. Really, really good. This is how the student found 2.3 seconds on his best lap in 1 hour. He's driving a GTP car in iRacing at Spa, and you will see his driving transform itself from a top 10% level to a top 1% level. This was one of the best sessions of the whole year, so if you're serious about getting better, watch this until the end. As always in my coaching sessions, I'm going to watch him driving, then I'm going to explain him what he needs to change. I will do a few laps to show him what I'm talking about, and then we will get back to him to put everything in practice. And the results were insane in this session, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. I hope you enjoy it. This video is brought to you by my own racing school, the Almeida Racing Academy. And in November 28th, we will launch the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0. It's the biggest launch of the whole year, and you will not want to miss it. I will tell you more information over the next few days. All right, I'm just gonna watch you drive. You can do probably like 3-4 laps, and then I'll stop you.
Come in for the black flag, or you'll be disqualified.
All right, that's very good. I have my suspicion. I took 3 lines of notes that kind of converge into one concept. You are driving this car like it's a GT car. You're not actually using its downforce. There's the understanding itself of how the downforce is going to help you, but ultimately how you have to change your inputs to benefit from that downforce. I want to kind of confirm my suspicion. So I want to do a few laps. Can I share my screen? I never drove this combo, so you should give me like 3 or 4 laps to kind of feel it out. Literally the wrong gear. Okay. Comments with the driving, with the lines.
Not with my eye, not that I can see.
Okay. The biggest difference between what I did and what I felt this car really, really wants and you were not doing is maximizing lateral grip by trusting the downforce, not necessarily the trail braking. I think your trail braking, like this car, is a GT car. I felt that if I trail brake that much, the car just doesn't benefit from the downforce that already rotates the car for you. So the brakes should look a lot more steep on a straight line, but also a sharp decrease as you start turning in. I mean, it's not a crazy different to what you're doing. It's like it's almost like the surface area of the brake line should be more concentrated to the left, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So
Instead of being
I think
a pyramid, it's being like a cliff. Yeah.
you're doing like this. I would say let's try to do something like this. Like it's that difference. It's not that much more, but what I feel is that this area here, it's like right after you start turning in and you get into the corner, it feels like you're trail braking too much and you're not turning the steering. So your steering seems to be a little bit too progressive like a GT car, and mine is a little bit more linear. It's like I turn a little bit more quickly and I feel that the car likes that. The car's like, hey, I have downforce. I am already providing support to the front tires. You don't have to trail brake that much. It also feels like you're doing V-shaped lines everywhere and I'm doing more U-shape because I'm aware that this car has a lot of downforce. So that's why maybe you felt like, oh my God, he is really turning in so late here. But you saw that like one of my best laps here was when I was pretty much completely missing the apex. That's because I was able to benefit from a slightly better exit. At the same time, I was actually already getting the car to turn with not a lot of trail braking. Also, I decided to not use all the track here on this lap because this was triggering the traction control so much that the car felt way faster by not using it. I wanted to try that. It's a small detail. See, like a kind of a sharp decrease on the brakes. Maybe it was a little bit too much, but that's what I wanted to try. I wanted to feel the downforce even at this corner, which is a low speed corner. Should still have some benefit from the downforce at this turn in. Here, it's right here.
So
this is the phase of the corner. It's like right after, it's still early entry. So we have early entry, late entry. At early entry, already use the downforce. But for you to do an early entry and use a downforce, you're gonna have to do something different. Let's compare V-shaped versus U-shaped line, right? So V-shaped line is like you turn a little bit like this, and U-shaped line is more like this. What's the difference is that the V-shaped line, the blue one, you're still trail braking very heavily here, and you're transitioning more slowly. So that's the slow release GT style. And what I was doing, braking a lot more on a straight line for a little bit longer, but then doing a sharp drop here to already activate, say, a little bit of the downforce benefit. So I was doing something like maybe like this, a little bit sharper on turn end to really activate that downforce. It might not be that much. This is like a little bit too aggressive. It would be something a little bit like this, but it's just to illustrate the difference. But the thing is, I want you to try that everywhere. Like this is the corner where we would do the least, not the least difference, but like where we would feel the least the benefits, because it's a low speed corner. So low speed, low downforce, you don't feel that much difference, but I felt it here, right? So if we go to a different corner, everywhere is the same thing. Like even the entry for this one, I felt you were trail braking too hard. I feel like I'm turning in a little bit later and using more the downforce. And when I say use more the downforce, I'm saying use less the trail brake and then turn more the steering too. So even the steering changes, right? You were doing something like this. I was doing something like, you were doing something like this. I was doing this, meaning like on entry, I'm already kind of like activating the front tires and trusting that the wind is pushing the front tires down for me rather than using the trail brake. So same thing here, and then change direction. On the change of direction here too, like kind of aggressive, like you're not trail braking, you can turn a little bit later and try to get a later apex here by really using this area, using the downforce, trying to really support the car to one side to really benefit from the cornering grip that it has available to you on these higher speed corners. And then also when you get back on power here, with slightly later apex, you can carry just a little bit more speed. And then here, same thing, like I'm really, you see how late I'm turning in. If I was driving on a Porsche Cup, I would be already trail braking right here. But with this car, I'm doing like pretty aggressive, more U-shape rather than V-shape.
Yeah.
And really, really, like, if you look at the brake release, it's quite fast. And then now I'm really, really just trusting the downforce.
Do you think this translates more into a little bit of coasting mid-corner?
Less trail braking, not
Yeah.
to the point of coasting. Coasting is too much. Okay. Coasting is 0%. You were doing 20%. I was doing 10%. I just release more, and then you will see that by the time I release, look, this is beautiful. By the time I release from 20 to 10, that's precisely when I start actually oversteering a little bit. Look. See? Exactly at the time I drop a little bit more, I oversteer. So it's like, whoa, what is happening? And like you keep saying that if you trail brake more, you get more rotation. Well, not necessarily in a stiff car with downforce, because there is downforce making the car turn on its own. So in these cars, sometimes when you trail brake more, you're actually causing the inside front tire to lock. And if you're causing micro locking on the front tire, it actually rotates less and understeers. So here, what I'm doing when I'm releasing the brakes, I'm actually letting the front downforce do its job more. So that's why when I trail brake less here, I actually got more rotation, and I had to even do a little correction. Then back on power. You see, I was carrying a lot of oversteer here. And then same thing when I did this one. This last lap was very good. I mean, it was maybe a little bit too much. I was testing the grip of the car, but I turned in. Look at the trail brakes, not that much, and look at the oversteer. Whee! So I really had to kind of correct the oversteer by getting back on power. See, as soon as I got back on power, then the oversteer corrects itself. So I just wanted to unlock a little bit of that natural oversteer that comes from the downforce by letting the front tires breathe with less trail braking. But that will affect everything. That's the problem. Like I'm telling you, hey, trail brake less. But in order for this to work, you also have to turn in later and more quickly, because it's a U-shape approach. So you have to change the whole package of inputs. And then same thing here. He was a little bit too much. I was trusting the downforce a little bit too much here, so I trail braked a little bit too early, and then it was a little bit of understeer, so I ended up getting off track here. So here, because you do need to slow down, at the same time you do need to use the brakes, you have to do a pretty sharp deceleration and then trust the downforce. That's what I would say.
Yep.
And then same thing here. I feel like I turned in later than you, and a little bit sharper too. It's not so much sharper if you look at the steering, obviously, but it's a little bit sharper than you. It's a little bit later. It's a little bit sharper brakes, and then I trust the downforce, trust the downforce, trust the downforce. 1 to 5% brakes, and you can see how the car is hanging the rear, almost spinning. And then change direction, 1%, and then relaxing my hands on the exit. Same thing for this one, turning in very late, but really, this is the area here where I am using the grip and it feels like you're not.
Yep.
Trust the downforce. Trust the downforce. Just a quick tip here. Turn late as well and sharp. So the steering trace here should be, it's a very weird corner, right? So let me set up a line here. Let's put our steering here. We turn left, right? So let me go down, brake on the corner before we start turning like this. Then we unwind, we get back on power. That's all the corner before. What's the steering trace for this corner? Because you're going to be on power and you're going to probably maybe lift a little bit, right? But you're going to be flat for the rest. So what do you think is the steering trace for this corner?
This one will be, I think, kind of gradual now. If you do well this corner, normally it's flat out. You have to touch the inside curb a little bit, so it kind of gives you that extra rotation of the car.
Yeah, I on this last lap I did like a micro lift and I felt like it could be flat. Yeah, but okay, let's assume it's flat then, because that makes it even easier for me to explain this. Let's assume it's flat. It's flat. What's the steering trace? You said gradual, so it's gradual application and gradual release.
Probably the release is a lot faster than the application. I don't know.
Agree actually, because you're gonna be on the limit until you hit the curb and then boom. Okay, so you're saying it's like,
because as soon as you touch the inside curb, it rotates a little bit, and then you have to start opening the steering wheel. Otherwise you're gonna understeer out. Okay,
so you are saying then that it's like this and then this.
Not as extreme, but yes.
I mean, this, geometrically, what I'm gonna tell you is that it's actually like this.
Okay. Unwind and then, okay.
Quick initial application. Why? Why would you turn in slowly if you're not trail braking? If you're at a specific speed here, the car has an X amount of rotation available immediately to you. So you go straight to X. But the thing is that you're on power, right? So if you're on power, here you're going to have, I don't know, 0.8X. Because your speed is going up, you can rotate less. So on initial turn in is where you're going to have your peak steering. That's extremely important. And that's how you can do it flat. You decrease slightly because now you're going faster, 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 faster. And by the time you hit the curb and you're really like on the limit, then you can unwind quickly. So this is X steering. This is 0.8X steering. But the initial turn-in has to be fast. It's very difficult to do it right. I would need a little bit more practice because when you turn in sharply like this, the timing of the turn-in is going to be extremely important so that you hit the curb right. When you turn in more gradually, you can do some adjustments and you will always hit the apex right. But all the time, your exits are going to feel extremely unpredictable. Sometimes you go to the gravel, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to lift a lot. So this becomes very, very inconsistent, especially when you're racing and you get nervous. It's very easy to end up losing positions on the bus stop because you're turning in gradually and making your exits inconsistent. So what I also want you to try this crazy approach of turning in more quickly here to the peak. As your speed is going up, you have to steer left. It makes no sense to gradually add steering if your speed is going up. Only gradually add steering if you're trail braking. That's the only reason we gradually add steering.
But yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, very, very useful. Let me see what I did here. It's difficult to look at the graph, but let's see. Yeah, so I think I did exactly what I said. So my steering went up, then a little bit down, and then back straight. It's difficult to see because of the bumps and everything. But see, peak, less, straight. Well, not so straight, so fast there, but you got the idea. Same thing here. You can turn in pretty fast. Why? Because you're not trail braking. You don't have to turn in slowly. On this one, I turned in slowly because I realized that there's so much grip that this is not even a corner. But on the previous lap, I turned in fast, assuming that it was going to be almost not flat. But you don't have to turn in super fast here just because it's not a corner, it's a straight. And then this one, I always brake a little bit too late, so not a really good example. Although the turn in here was similar. I think I was turning in a little bit later and benefiting a little bit more from the downforce on the initial turn in. And the rest here, I never could like get really right because I was missing the apex, but that's fine. You got the idea.
Can you go back to where you brake? Just for me to see. Yeah, normally I brake at that white line. And see, this is one of the things. What I see normally when I compare my telemetry with some of the faster guys and even my teammates is that I normally have the tendency of braking harder for longer and getting on throttle and 100% throttle a little bit later than they do. And then when I try to brake a bit less or go on throttle a little bit earlier, I either always miss the corner by braking later or I lose the car by accelerating a bit faster. And that's the one thing that I'm not finding a solution to correct.
My suspicion number one is that you're braking too hard and overheating the surface of the tire. When I saw you braking 100%, I was like, ooh, that's a lot of brakes. Yeah. You can probably slow down and still get into the corner, but maybe they have a colder surface. They have more grip on the exit, and that's why they can get to 100% earlier. This car is very sensitive. If you abuse the brakes and you overheat or micro lock, you're not going to have grip for the cornering and for the exits.
Okay.
So sacrifice a little bit of the brakes. Don't go 100%, go 95, 90, and then try to judge the grip during cornering and exit and see if there's a difference between the cornering grip when you brake 100% versus the cornering grip when you brake 90%.
Okay, we'll try that.
Let's go back to you. I want you to try turning in later, and I want you to try doing a more U-shaped line, and I want you to trail brake a little bit more quickly and get to the lower zones of the trail braking, like 5 to 1%. And I want you to tell me if you feel that the downforce is being activated a little bit more.
Okay.
Remember too that the difference is semi-subtle, right? So don't make a crazy change. It's almost like someone who did not watch my explanation would not notice it. That's how subtle it has to be. Yeah, be careful not to brake too, like, the initial brake is exactly the same. Okay, that's better. A little bit too much steering, but the idea is correct. And also the tires are still cold.
But yeah, I can see what you mean. I can feel that
Nice.
the car has that downforce.
Oh! That's it. That's it. 210s for you on that one corner. Too slow release. Too slow release. That was like a GT trail braking. A little bit too much. Too much. That was too fast. Too fast release. Too fast steering. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Again, remember, no one has to notice. This is our secret. Okay. A little bit aggressive, but hey, 10th and a half. See? Still a little bit too much. Like, don't jerk the car so fast. It is definitely to the right direction. You're just going over. You probably got surprised there with how the car pointed, right?
Yeah. No, I can. You know, even when the second lap, when the tires were cold, I could see what you explained.
Nice.
Probably overdoing it a little bit now.
Which is fine, yeah.
But at least I know what. That's the thing that I was looking for. At least I know where I can practice.
Try to blend both now. A little bit of trail braking, a little bit of faster steering. Okay. Look at how much rotation you got there.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that I always felt, that I was under the limit, but I could not, for the life of me, find what to work on or what different technique I could. So yeah.
You were trying to play drums on a guitar.
Maybe.
Yeah, too hard braking. It's definitely gonna hurt your grip mid-corner and exit. See? No grip. You were actually like locking the tires there. Oh yes. Yep. That's it. Don't brake 100%. Feel the grip difference mid-corner. Totally different car. Keep going. Yeah. Nice speed. That's it. Yeah, try your best to not go on top of that curb. Like as soon as you got there, your Delta stopped going green. The traction control goes crazy. You had a faster exit, and then you went to the curb, and then you lost your time. 10% braking here. Yeah. Trust the downforce. And trust the downforce. Nice. That's it. Steering trace was perfect there. Okay. There we go. Trust the downforce. Beautiful. Oh, you have to lift a little bit. Oh god. There you go. Yeah, be careful not to coast though. Coasting is still bad. Yeah. You still need to have that less 5% there. You're just dropping. As soon as you went to 0%, you lost the rotation there. I see you're still coasting. Coasting is very rare. Maybe you were gonna coast for a few fractions of a second before you get back on power, but that's it. I can feel like now you're using more rubber, you know? You're actually getting the car to work. Still too much coasting. I saw that you went back. That's great. Nice. That's it. 1% brakes, 1% brakes. Don't coast. Yeah. See the rotation? Same thing here, don't coast. You coasted. You had 0% brakes. What matters is that you notice the difference.
Even on the second lap when the tires were cold, I was like, oh, this actually turns.
Let the downforce be with you, my friend.
That's it.
Don't coast, don't coast. Stay on the 1%. Pretty much like I'm gonna say never coast with this car. At least for now.
Yeah.
Your minimum brake accepted and approved by your coach is 1%.
Okay.
Bang. Okay. Coasting should be a rare thing. Okay. There we go. 1%. Don't coast. There you go. Yes. Nice. Yeah, when you're braking, when you're touching the brakes to turn the car, if you just give a little brake blip like on off, nothing is gonna happen. The car will only feel trail braking if you actually stay on that 1% for more than like 3-4 tenths of a second. So sometimes I see you going on the brakes and then off. It's like nothing is happening. You have to stay on that 1% and then benefit from the actual rotation for the duration of your trail braking. Now, 2 more laps.
Let's go. This is the lap.
This is the one. That's just because you said this is the lap.
Like the guy that says careful into T1.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see this lap. It's just waiting to be driven.
That's it.
All right, my job is done here. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Optimal sector 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
That was great, man.
That's it. That's it.
That was 2.3 seconds.
2.3 seconds. That's exactly how much you said you wanted to find. Yeah, that's how you drive a high downforce car. That's how you drive a high downforce car. Good job, man. Really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, thank you for the pointers, man. It was driving me nuts all these months.
Oh my god. You're driving like a 4K now, honestly. Just go there and grab your iRating, honestly.
Yeah, now when I go into the races, but yeah, as soon as I dial it down, yeah, there's a lot of time to be taken off, yeah.
There you go, man. I was not gonna let you go. I was like, this lap is just waiting to be driven. I told you.
As soon as someone tells me what am I doing wrong, I can actually correct it. The thing is, when you don't know, and you're like shooting blind, trying to figure out what it is.
Like I said, playing drums on a guitar, right?
Yeah. More or less like that.
I showed you the strings. Yeah, this was really good, man. Thank you for the trust in the Almeida Racing Academy. Amazing session. This is why I do it. And honestly, I think you drive very, very, very well. You adapted so fast in an hour. So I think it's crazy. Imagine like you just did a race, an official race, and then you show up in the next day 2 seconds faster.
Yeah.
Everyone is gonna be like, what happened? Like someone logged in your account. It's impossible to go 2 seconds quicker from night to day.
The funny thing is, and I might just share this, the first aha moment that I had was actually with one of your videos. I was like, it's still on Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I was like, 6 seconds off pace, something like that. And it was actually about trail braking because I used to brake as hard as I can on the straight line, and then get off the brakes, turn the steering wheel, and accelerate. And it was a training session that you did with someone, I can't remember who it was. The guy was losing rotation on the car because he wouldn't keep those 5%, 10% until the apex. And so I saw that video, and I'm like, okay, boom. It was like 2 seconds off times on all the tracks. And then, I kept watching your videos, and I'm like, I was driving me nuts for months. Where can I find time? If I brake late, I'm just gonna go forward, and it was just driving me nuts. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get Swelly a session because I know he's gonna like tell me, yeah, this is it, and I'll be able to correct it. That was great, man. Maybe in January I would love to get a bit of a coaching session, but it would be more of driving in the rain and stuff like that because I feel that I'm a bit lacking in there as well.
Got it. Okay, yeah, we can work on that. Remember that there's also Connor and Kane if you ever want to do more sessions in the future and you want to try a different set of eyes. They also teach with the same method. That's what we call now Almeida method. Kane is super fast, so if you want to go all in to compare telemetry and everything, I recommend him to drive with you and to get a reference. I'm launching a new course, actually. It's a revamp of the motor racing checklist. It's going to be the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0. It's 28th of November. You will already have access to it because you have the motor racing checklist. So it's free for you. I'm actually working on it 4 to 5 lessons a day non-stop this whole month because it's a lot of lessons, and the way I organize it is different. Now instead of going introduction, braking, cornering, balance, it's gonna be level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So level 1 is like consistency and safety, level 2 is balance and speed, level 3 is cornering precision, and level 4 is mastery, which is like all the super advanced stuff. So it's gonna be a little bit better flow for the students to find their own level to go to the next level.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. I do like your content, and you always learn a little bit with other people. No, it's great to see you going forward, and hope you get some opportunities to race in Europe, and I can go see you as well.
Yeah, I might race GT4 in Europe this year too.
Well, best of luck. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, congrats again.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swelly Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good.
If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swelly Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy. Wait a race.